In Las Vegas, when we were out at the 2011 SHOT Show, that the Supreme Court decided it was not going to hear the case out of New Jersey regarding the gentleman who was traveling from Utah to Pennsylvania, transferring to a flight in Newark. Flight got canceled. He was supposed to get on a bus to Allentown, PA. His luggage didn't get on the bus with him. He decided he was going to wait overnight. Did I mention that he had legally checked his firearm in when he flew out of Utah? Well, when he went to go board the flight to Allentown the next day and try to check in his firearm, he was arrested for being in New Jersey in possession of a firearm without a license. In jail for 10 days. Charges ultimately dismissed, but the Court of Appeals said that this gentleman could not sue the Port Authority. The Supreme Court decided it was not going to take the case, and that means that the appeals court decision is going to stand. Evan Knapp, a New Jersey firearms attorney, is with us tonight. Evan, how are you, sir?
Hey, Cam. Great.
Good. I'm glad that you could come on the program. Did I summarize correctly? I know I've left a lot of stuff out here.
Yeah,
but,
you did. Basically, that's what it is. I'm starting to see. You see, like a pattern here with Jersey and transport of firearms.
Yes.
Now, yeah. It's kind of very disturbing to see this. Now, Greg Revelle, I handled his criminal matter when he had first gotten arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is I immediately brought a motion to dismiss lack of jurisdiction, which under the rules you can bring at any time, and I basically forced it down the court's throat at this preliminary hearing and mandated that we have the hearing, and the state basically threw in the towel and dismissed his charges from that motion. So very quickly we were able to get the criminal charges dismissed, but he didn't get a hold of me, or I didn't know about him or anything till he had been in jail for 5 days. And we're talking Greg is a guy out from Utah, and he was in jail in Newark for 5 days. And he was an older gentleman too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boy, how did you survive there in that jail, which is a pretty bad jail? And he said, well, the one thing that really helped him is that it was a gun charge, so that was cool. I'm like, really? Yeah, but it was a tough thing for him, and they actually vaccinated him against his will. They didn't give him his meds, and it was just a horrible experience. And he, after he got the charges dismissed based on the federal, Title 18-926A, with that happening, he brought a civil action to try to, be compensated for what he went through.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, with the civil action, which I did not, I was not the lead counsel on the civil action. I focus on criminal with my practice. And unfortunately, in the civil action, the court took this approach of sympathizing with him. How nice. They sympathized with with what he went through, and that it was no fault of his own.
Yeah, it's a really nice way of saying sucks to be you.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But stopped him from being able to get any type of compensation for everything that he went through. And that really is a shame to see. Again, we have this, we have the law that he was abiding by, that he was lawfully under, wrongfully, imprisoned and charged, etc., and then no recourse. And then you think about this, you look at Brian Aiken, who was, again, doing, following the law, and suffers. I mean, so in New Jersey, even when you follow the law, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just so out of control. Any of your listeners that bring firearms into New Jersey, you've got to be extra careful. You just cannot have the government get involved with you when you have firearms in New Jersey, even though you're legal. I mean, it's just insane that you even have to be saying this.
I know.
That you're following the law, but that's not good enough. You will suffer even though you're following the law.
Yeah, following the law is no. I guess it's
No.
an affirmative defense once you've been arrested.
Right, and that's if the judge lets the jury get it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just very scary.
Is this still going on, Evan? I mean, are travelers still being arrested? Because this was not a one-off. It wasn't like Mr. Revell was the only individual that this had happened
No, I've
to.
had many cases coming out of so-called Liberty International Airport, a great name for the place. I had one guy was a manager in a big sporting goods store that was bringing his ammo out to hunt for deer season, and he had it just the ammo because the gun was already out there. He's just bringing this very special hunting ammo that happened to be hollow nose. Well, there's exemption for hollow nose for hunting. It's right in there. And he got his license even before he left online. He was going to do deer hunt. Checks in, puts it through the proper procedure. They arrest him. Oh, you're in possession of hollow. It's hunting ammo. I'm going hunting. I'm within the exemption. I'm specific. Ruined his hunt. Missed the whole thing. Yet he was totally legal. Didn't matter. This was hunting ammo for his hunting gun, 2 days before deer season, where he's going to this state where he has his license, and you're allowed to have this ammo for hunting. Didn't matter. I mean, we've just seen it over and over. One fella had his dogs to go hunting, and he had his shotgun broken down and had it in the dog kennel. Well, apparently he didn't know that that gets put into the area in his search, and he couldn't have a gun, and they arrest him for that. This is this hunting shotgun, taken down, unloaded, cased. Had another guy, don't ever let them take your gun and put you in the restricted area. I had one fellow who was running late for his plane, had his baggage, said, I need to check it, have a gun. They said, don't worry. The airline person helping him takes his bag, puts him in a secure area, puts his bag through with the gun in it, and then leaves, and he just gets arrested. He didn't even put his bag through on that. The airline people did. Didn't matter. He couldn't stop him. The guy's grabbing the bag and running him to the gate to help him.
Really?
And boom. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we have story after story, case after case. It is a continuing problem at airports. It's continuing with people driving through New Jersey and for whatever reason ending up getting stopped.
Yeah.
And we have a case now with a kid who had his grandfather borrowed his grandfather's car, and his grandfather had gone target range, left the gun in the car. Kid had no idea about it. Broke down, found that. He said, "Look, doesn't matter. Even though he didn't know, just borrow the car." So now you got to, if you borrow your grandfather's car, you got to check the trunk before you go anywhere. What kind of? I mean,
is this young man facing prison time?
Oh yeah, he was a juvenile convicted, and we didn't handle the case below, but we're doing the appeal now on it, and we're saying, look, there's a knowledge element, and the judge in this juvenile case, the judge in the case says, oh well, once he opened the trunk because he got a flat and he saw the gun, then that's when he knew. We're like, well, at that point, it's too late. That's why the police came in the first place. The car's broke. What's he supposed to do? The first time he sees it, when he opens the trunk to change a tire, and the police doesn't matter. No, that judge convicted him, so we're working to overturn that. It just case after case of you just say, can it get any more absurd? And it always does.
And how? Again, you want to ask the question: how does this advance the cause of public safety? How does this advance justice? This is ridiculous.
Well, Kim, I've often pondered this. I'm like, why do they do this? Why? What is it that? And the only thing I can come up with, at least the closest thing, is the same. Seems like the same reason they push these ridiculous anti-gun laws. Knee-jerk reactions, etc. But the bigger picture is they want to make it look like they're doing something about crime or doing something about whatever the problem is that they're using gun control is the excuse to address it, even though it has nothing to do with it and it's completely ineffective. Just like proposing a magazine ban now over what happened in Tucson. I mean, we all know that's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Last I heard there were plenty of laws stopping someone from shooting a congresswoman in the head. I don't think we need another gun law there. It's going to do anything, but doesn't matter. They propose it, they do it. Well, the same reason they put these anti-gun laws forward, I think it's the same reason you see this kind of enforcement. Because it makes it look like the prosecutor's doing something. It makes it look like that. And they feed it to the public who doesn't know any better. And
I've got a 96% conviction rate.
Yeah, right.
Including
for unlawful weapons possession.
Right.
Can't.
Yeah, including the kid who took his grandfather's car.
And the guy who has it legally in his trunk, like Brian Aitken, or the guy who's legal under 926A doing his thing, or inadvertently, some attendant puts his bag through after he warned him about, on and on and on. Doesn't matter. So I think that's the best explanation, because that's why they just push it. To make it look like, and they have these standing policies that are just anti-gun, where they prosecute. You find a gun, you arrest. No discretion.
Yeah.
Find a gun, you arrest. And that pumps their numbers up. So this is what we're dealing with all the time. But it's really a shame because Mr. Revelle, but his only consolation is that the court can sympathize with him.
Yeah.
So that gives him a lot of comfort knowing that he has their sympathy.
That and $5 will get you a coffee at Starbucks.
Exactly. But the state association is still in the case because they had filed as well as a plaintiff on behalf of the members. So we still may get a turnaround here, at least for the legal issues as it applies to folks in Mr. Revelle's situation, but Mr. Revelle, personally doesn't have a cause of action to maintain, unfortunately.
All right. Well, listen, Evan, I'm glad you could join us tonight, sir. I appreciate it. And
anytime, Cam. Always a pleasure.
Look forward to seeing you soon here. You'll be at the NRA annual meeting in a few months, right?
Great time. Love it.
All
we'll
right.
definitely be there.
I have a feeling I'll be talking to you before then. But,
yeah.
looking forward to seeing you.
Well, unless people just stop transporting guns in New Jersey, then maybe we won't be talking. But
don't leave your house. Don't go anywhere.
Right.
Just hunker down in the basement.
That's it.
That's Garden State crazy.
All right, man. Take care.
Evan, have
Thanks.
a great night, sir.
You too. Bye now.